Have you ever seen a new car and bam, you either love it or you hate it? No thinking, no debating, just an instant feeling. Well, what if I told you that gut reaction isn't some kind of magic? It's actually neuroscience. And today, we're going to dive deep into that science, using the world of car design to figure out why we like the things we like.
Okay, so let's jump right in with a mystery. A design mystery that I bet every single one of you has experienced, even if you've never really put it into words.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? That split-second, gut-level thing that happens before you even have a chance to think. One design just clicks. It feels right. And another one feels, well, just wrong, like visual noise. So what is going on in our heads in that tiny moment?
And these two? They're the perfect illustration. On one hand, you've got the Porsche 911. For decades, those curves have felt just perfect. It's a classic for a reason. And then you have the Cybertruck, a vehicle that just completely smashes our mental model of what a truck is supposed to look like.
So, to get to the bottom of this, we've got to start with what we thought we knew. The old story, the simple, common-sense idea of how we see the world.
And this is it. It's super straightforward, right? Step 1, your eyes see something. Step 2, they send that raw data to your brain. Step 3, your brain sorts it all out and says, ah, that's a car. It's a neat, tidy, one-way street. Makes total sense. Except, it's not at all how it works. Not even close.
And this is where things get really interesting. Thanks to some incredible research from neuroscientists like Feldman Barrett and Earl Miller, we now know we've had it backwards. They're basically tearing up the old rulebook on how we perceive reality.
Yeah, that whole story, it's wrong. And this idea, this is the game changer. Your brain isn't just sitting back, passively waiting for your eyes to send it information. Nope. It's an active player in the game, co-creating everything you see.
Get this! Your brain predicts what you see. It doesn't just react to the world, it's constantly making guesses about what's coming next. It's like a full-time fortune teller running millions of simulations a second, trying to figure out what you're about to experience.
So what you think of as seeing something is actually a conversation, a negotiation between your brain's best guess and the actual signals coming from your eyes. Your perception isn't a perfect photograph of the world. It's more like a live rendered simulation, one that's constantly being updated.
Okay, so how on earth does the brain pull this off? Well, it has this incredible toolkit with 3 main principles it uses to build your reality every single second of the day. First up is the prediction engine. Your brain is always forecasting what's next based on everything you've ever experienced. Think about a real car nut who can name a model just from the shape of a headlight. That's not magic. Their brain has just built up a really strong predictive model. That thing we call a first impression, it's really just your brain's prediction clicking into place. And the really clever designers? They're already playing with this. Audi, for example, loves to create what they call a familiar surprise. They give you elements you recognize, but in a way you don't expect. It creates this little prediction error in your brain that's actually engaging. Mercedes, on the other hand, often goes the other way with sensual purity. They want to perfectly match your brain's prediction for luxury, creating 0 errors. It just feels right. And as neuroscientist Dr. Sarah Chen says, by the time you actually think, wow, I like that, your brain has already been hard at work making tons of rapid-fire predictions. But for the brain to be that fast, it can't possibly look at every single detail. It needs shortcuts. And that brings us to the second tool in the kit, the compression principle. Honestly, your brain is kind of lazy, but in a really, really smart way. It doesn't have the resources to process every single detail of what you're seeing. So it cheats. It compresses all that complex information into simple, meaningful categories.
This is exactly why things like BMW's kidney grille or Porsche's headlights are so iconic. They're like compression markers. Your brain sees that shape and instantly files it under BMW without any extra work. It's also why designers changing those markers can cause such an uproar. It messes up our brain's super efficient filing system. But why? Why is the brain so obsessed with being efficient?
Well, that brings us to our third and final principle, and honestly, this one is the most mind-blowing. It's called the allostatic advantage. And the core idea is simple. Your brain's #1 job isn't thinking, it's managing your body's energy budget. And that idea, it changes absolutely everything. Check this out. Your brain only makes up about 2% of your body weight, but it burns through a staggering 20% of your body's total energy. That's insane. It's an incredibly expensive organ to run. So to keep you going, it's had to evolve into the ultimate efficiency expert.
It's ruthless about saving energy wherever it can, including in how you see.
And this is where it all comes together. Look at the original Audi TT, those simple, clean geometric shapes. That's what we call high processing fluency. It's super easy for your brain to predict and compress. Looking at it feels good because it's literally metabolically cheap for your brain. Now look at the Pontiac Aztek. That thing is a metabolic nightmare. It's a jumble of conflicting shapes and lines that forces your brain to burn a ton of energy just to figure out what it's even looking at.
So just let that sink in for a second. According to neuroscientist Dr. Rebecca Lawson, what we call beauty or aesthetic pleasure is really, on a biological level, just our brain enjoying how efficient it's being. A design that feels right is one that feels good for your brain to process.
So what does all this mean? Where are we headed? Well, this is way more than just a cool new trick for car designers. This is a massive shift in how we think about creating, well, everything.
This quote from an automotive design director just nails it. We used to design cars for the eye. Now we design them for the brain. The next level of quality isn't just about perfect panel gaps anymore. It's about neural ergonomics. How easily does a design fit into the way our brains are already wired to work?
And this blows the door wide open to a crazy future. I mean, imagine cars that could adapt their interior lighting to be less metabolically expensive for your specific brain. Or designs that aren't meant to be understood all at once, but that slowly reveal themselves over time, keeping your predictive brain engaged and happy. Which leaves us with one last, really big question. This was never just about cars, was it? If our brain is actively building what we see based on its predictions, what else is it building? Our emotions? Our beliefs? Our very sense of who we are? It turns out that this little design mystery, it might just be the key to understanding the nature of reality itself.